Hey YouTube, VidHead85 here. Can we talk for a minute? Great. So Russia's anti-gay propaganda law has Brian Fisher, Tony Perkins, Porno Pete LaBarbera in a tizzy. They love the law, and in fact, they are applauding Uganda, Nigeria, and many other African nations in the so-called prevention of homosexuality. Needless to say, that's not something that you can prevent. Simply put, this is something that happens. It happens in animals. It happens in people. It happens all over the place. But yet, homosexuality is prominent in 450 species. Homo hatred and antagonism is only common in one. So if anything's unnatural, I would say the latter. However, the focus recently on the gay marriage debate, which there is simply no debate, it's simply this. It's wrong. Religious people say it's wrong. We're going to make a law. Now it's wrong. That's the only debate that they want to have. They constantly talk about debate, but then again, when they see Russia's law and Uganda's law, and when they see laws that basically say that gay people shouldn't exist, Iran hangs gay people, they go into their mouth, they start foaming at the mouth like they have a mouthful of Alka-Seltzer, because that's exactly what they want here. I don't care if you say you agree with homosexuality or you don't. The simple fact is, we exist. And if you are sitting here saying that we need laws like that, you're basically advocating our killing us. Bottom line. With all the focus on Russia and of Arizona's bill, Senate Bill 1062, which Governor Jan Brewer promptly vetoed, she basically said that there was no real threat to religious freedom in Arizona, and gay people are able to be refused service because that's the state law, and things happen that, nothing has happened that would necessitate that law. However, just because that law was vetoed doesn't mean that it's all over. Missouri and Tennessee, Missouri introduced one, Tennessee actually pulled one back. Maine rejected a bill like 1062, and it's all happening through Focus on the Family. There was a Citizen Link. Citizen Link is pushing that bill, as well as one of their umbrellas is Americans for Religious Freedom Program. A Reagan appointee was from that group. The religious wrong are pushing these laws. But take a look at this map here. This is no promo homo laws and laws that prohibit enumeration. Enumeration is simply a bullying policy that specify protections for LGBT students. So this talks about 9 states that have laws that aren't really all that different from Russia's. Let's start with Alabama. The state law dictates that homosexuality is not an acceptable lifestyle. It says, as an emphasis, in a factual manner and from a public health perspective, that homosexuality is not a lifestyle acceptable to the general public, and that homosexual conduct is a criminal offense under the laws of the state, which have been blocked from enforcement. Although loopholes are still being used in that ruling to still prosecute gay men. Arizona suggests that some methods of safe sex are safe methods. Okay, they cannot suggest that some methods of sex are safe methods of homosexual sex. The law dictates the promotion of abstinence. Louisiana has a law that's censoring homosexuality in sex education. It only applies to any sexually explicit material depicting male or female homosexual activity. But even non-pictorial discussions of homosexuality could probably be considered violations as well. Mississippi says it teaches the current state law related to sexual conduct, including forcible rape, statutory rape, paternity establishment, child support, and homosexual activity, which basically says that dismissing the possibility that there is any kind of gay sex that is safe, appropriate, or legal. Teaches that mutually faithful, monogamous, if I'm faithful to you, you're faithful to me. In a marriage, that is the best appropriate setting for sexual intercourse. North Carolina, a mutually faithful Monogamous heterosexual relationship in the context of a marriage is the best lifelong means of avoiding STDs, including HIV/AIDS, which is technically right, but the reality is they quite miss it. Oklahoma says, engaging in homosexual activity, promiscuous sexual activity, IV drug use, contact with contaminated blood products is known primarily to be responsible for contact with the AIDS virus. South Carolina says that any program of instruction for sex education cannot or may not include discussion of alternative lifestyles from heterosexual relationships, including but not limited to homosexual relationships, except in the context of instruction concerning STDs. So basically, if you're gay, you're automatically having an STD. Texas states that the homosexual conduct is not an acceptable lifestyle and is a criminal offense under Section 2106. Interestingly, the law also asserts that sexual activity before marriage is likely to have harmful psychological and physical consequences. And given that same-sex marriage is banned in Texas, this implies that all gay sex is harmful in a fashion. Utah legislature passed a bill that would have banned instruction in or advocacy of homosexuality and would have made sex education opt-in or opt-out, but the bill was vetoed. Other attempts have been made in Missouri and Tennessee. Don't say gay laws, but those have not moved forward. 9 states whose gay propaganda bills are not that different from Russia's. Also, let me state that all of these states, most likely, are pretty high up there for teen pregnancy rates. So even though the SB 1062, which was a harmful bill, period, dot, and the story, was vetoed, we still have this going on. And that's a greater, I think that those laws are a big threat to gay and lesbian people, but especially when marriage becomes legal nationwide. Those laws will probably not be repealed until a very long time. However, thank you for letting me talk to you, YouTube, and I will definitely see you later. Let me know what you think.